They underestimated you because you cared. They thought your kindness was weakness, your patience was submission, your silence was defeat. They believed you would always bend, always beg, always break just to be accepted. But something shifted. You reached the point where you no longer cared. And the moment you let go of their opinions, their approval, their control, that was the moment you became dangerous. The day you stopped caring was the day everything changed. Not because the world became softer, not because people around you suddenly respected you, but because inside of you, something snapped. That endless cycle of trying, of begging for recognition, of hoping someone would see your worth. It collapsed. And in the ruins of that collapse, something stronger rose. The version of you that cared too much died. And what replaced it was a force no one was prepared for. When you stop caring about their opinions, you stop living on their leash. Think about it. Every time you worried about what they would say, every time you hesitated because of judgment, you gave away your power. You were trapped inside their expectations, chained by their approval. But the moment you decided, I don't care anymore, you cut those chains. That freedom terrifies people because a person who is not controlled by approval, by validation, by fear of rejection, that person cannot be broken. Look at your past. How many times did you exhaust yourself trying to please people who never intended to be pleased? How many nights did you stay awake, overthinking every word you said, replaying every mistake in your head as if the world was keeping score? They weren't. Nobody cared as much as you thought. You wasted years performing for an audience that was never watching. And then, one day, you stopped the performance. You walked off the stage, and that silence, that refusal to play the role anymore, became your strength. People misunderstand what not caring really means. They think it's about being cold, about shutting yourself off completely. But that's not it. It's about refusing to let external noise dictate your internal state. It's about standing so firm in who you are that no storm can shake you. When you stop caring about shallow approval, you start caring about what actually matters: your growth, your discipline, your peace. That shift is what makes you dangerous. Because now you are moving with clarity, not with desperation. The ones who used to control you with guilt, with shame, with manipulation, they lose all power. They throw their words like weapons, but they no longer pierce your skin. Their judgment echoes in the air, but you don't flinch. They expect you to beg, to apologize, to shrink. Instead, you stand tall, silent, unbothered. That silence cuts deeper than any argument, because indifference is stronger than anger. Anger shows they still have power over you, but indifference proves they mean nothing. Think of the freedom in that. The same people who once made you feel small now look at you with confusion. They can't understand why their tricks don't work anymore. They can't understand why their insults bounce back empty. You've detached. And detachment doesn't mean weakness, it means untouchable strength. You don't react, you don't chase, you don't explain yourself. And that makes you unpredictable. That makes you dangerous. When you stop caring, you stop needing. And when you stop needing, you become free. Free to walk away. Free to choose silence. Free to cut ties without hesitation. This terrifies those who built their power on your fear of losing them. They thrived when you were desperate for approval. They starved you of love only to feed you crumbs. But now, you don't care for crumbs. You don't beg at their table. You build your own. And that independence burns them more than revenge ever could. But let's be clear. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens after betrayal, after heartbreak, after you've been lied to, used, abandoned, after you've poured yourself out for people who only knew how to take. It happens after the suffering has numbed you, after tears have dried into silence. That's when you realize caring too much has only left you empty. That's when you withdraw your energy from them and reinvest it in yourself. And in that quiet shift, the weak version of you dies. And when that version dies, they lose their favorite victim. They can't manipulate you anymore. They can't feed on your emotions. You've become cold to their chaos, immune to their drama. They try to drag you back into their games, but you've outgrown them. You see through them. You don't respond because responding means lowering yourself back to their level. And you know better now. This is the irony. When you cared, they didn't. When you begged for love, they withheld it. When you chased validation, they mocked you for chasing. But the moment you stopped, suddenly they noticed. Suddenly they panicked. Because nothing scares manipulators more than a person who doesn't care anymore. They realize they've lost control. They realize you no longer dance for them. And that's when they know you've become dangerous. Dangerous, not because you harm anyone, but because you're untouchable. Your peace cannot be bought. Your silence cannot be broken. Your worth is no longer up for debate. You don't fight to prove yourself anymore. You let your existence, your discipline, your growth speak for itself. And the world listens louder to silence than to noise. So understand this. The day you stopped caring wasn't the end. It was the beginning. The beginning of a stronger, sharper, freer you. The world may try to pull you back, to shame you for being heartless, to guilt you into becoming soft again. Don't fall for it. Your strength lies in this indifference. It's not cruelty, it's clarity. You see things as they are, not as you wished them to be. And that clear vision is power. They will try to provoke you, to test your silence, to drag you into fights. Don't give them the satisfaction. Let them drown in their own noise. You remain calm, steady, detached. That's how you win. Not with rage, not with endless explanations, but with silence and focus. Remember this. People fear what they cannot control, and you, the one who no longer cares, cannot be controlled. That's your weapon. That's your freedom. That's your danger. So walk forward with this power. Don't waste your energy on those who never deserved it. Don't trade your peace for their chaos. Don't shrink yourself to fit their fragile egos. Stand tall, stay calm, stay indifferent. Because the day you stopped caring, you became unstoppable. And if anyone doubts you, let them. If anyone mocks you, ignore them. If anyone tries to break you, smile silently, because they're already powerless. Their biggest weapon was your care, and you took it away. That's why you are dangerous now. Never return to that weak version of yourself. Never beg for validation again. Never lower your standards to please anyone. Protect your peace like it's your most valuable possession, because it is. And when you live with that discipline, that detachment, that unshakable calm, nothing in this world can touch you. That is the day you stopped caring, and that is the day you became untouchable. If you're ready to walk away from weakness, to stop caring about shallow approval, and to build the strongest version of yourself, make sure you subscribe and stay here, because this is only the beginning of your rise.